Hello, everyone.
Anita.
Hi. It feels like after a long time I'm seeing you guys.
Okay, all right, we're live. We just brought up the YouTube link. So I will call the Board of Library Trustees meeting to order at 7:02 p.m. I will read the official script and then do a roll call attendance. This open meeting of the Library Board of Trustees is being conducted remotely consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of June 16th, 2021, an act relative to extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency. All members of the Library Board of Trustees are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order allows the Library Board of Trustees to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless the chair notes otherwise. Members of the public who wish to view the live stream of this meeting may do so by going to Northborough Remote Meetings on YouTube via the link listed on the agenda. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will not feature public comment. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Mitch Cohen.
Mitch Cohen here.
Jim Hogan. You have to unmute, Jim.
Jim Hogan here.
Thank you. Is Hamilton here? I don't see Hamilton. All right. Nita Karanjkar.
Nita Karanjkar, I'm here too.
Charles Recchia.
Charles Recchia here.
Joan Scott.
Joan Scott here.
Richard Tucker.
Richard Tucker here.
And I'm Michelle Rehill. I am here. Also present, we have Jennifer Bruneau and Deborah Hirsch, reference librarian. And we have our Board of Selectmen liaison, Scott Rogers, with us as well. Thank you all for joining us tonight. And I'll put that aside. I have no opening remarks tonight. So we will go through to approval of the minutes for the June 8th meeting. Does anyone have any questions or comments about the minutes from the June 8th meeting?
Jen, was that in a separate email? Because I don't think I saw those. I got the director's report and the new appropriations report.
We should have been in my original email with the
Oh,
agenda.
I may not have gone back far enough then. Okay.
Do you need a minute to find them, Joan,
Or I can just abstain, whatever's faster.
okay. If you think of any questions later, we'll go back to you.
Okay, thanks.
If you've had time to look at them. All right, do I have a motion to accept the minutes as submitted?
I will make a motion to that effect.
All right, do I have a second? Let's see, I will second that.
I was absent, so I couldn't second, I couldn't vote, so.
No, it just occurred to me. I'm like, All right, I'll do a roll call for acceptance of the minutes as submitted. Mitch Cohen.
Mitch Cohen, aye.
Jim Hogan.
Jim Hogan, aye.
Hamilton's not here. Nita, you are abstaining, correct?
Yes.
Thank you. Charles Recchia.
Charles Recchia, aye.
Okay. Joan, you are abstaining until you have read them. Richard, I believe you were absent.
I abstain.
All right. And I vote to accept the minutes as presented. So the motion carries with 4 votes in the affirmative, 3 abstentions. That was one of the more confusing ones for us. We're usually so tidy. All right, the FY21 appropriations report. Has everybody had time to look at them and see the very fancy numbers at the bottom that say that we had 0 excess dollars in the expense totals?
I like it. Good job.
That must have taken some really hard work on everybody's part to get there.
Fortunately, we had a good list of needs.
I like that we were able to make up a good amount on the books and periodicals as well
Yep.
as the equipment. Yeah.
Mm. That was pretty exciting to me. I'm really glad that we could do that. Does anybody have any questions or comments about the report? If not, then we will move on to the library director's report. 2 whole pages this time, Jen.
Well, I had a lot. It was a busy month.
I have a question. The roofing, could they start the roof work?
They started today.
They did start. Okay, good.
They couldn't start yesterday as planned because of the rain,
Right.
but they were able to do it today.
Awesome. And, I don't know if anybody else has any other questions. I was looking at, you talked about the classification study.
Mhm.
I thought they had already gone through the library. They had started that before. And
They did. Yep. There was an issue with the initial, from my understanding, the person that they had initially contracted with ended up becoming severely ill partway through the process. And they were unable to really finish the process to their satisfaction. So they're going to start over with a new company.
okay. All right, thank you.
Yep.
Does anybody else have any questions or comments about the report?
I just wanted to make a very positive comment about the grant regarding the job seeking help and things like that. I think that is a wonderful time right now to go in that direction. So excellent.
Yep. Great work.
Yeah.
Really. Yep. We're really
Thank you,
excited
Pat.
about that one.
Can I ask whether this attached survey, that's the one the employees are going to use? Okay.
Mhm.
No, I think that survey is for the one that's attached there is for patrons, correct?
Oh, I might have misunderstood. Yes, we made a survey, the one that's attached. It's gonna go out to patrons
Okay.
for our use.
Under the classification study, it says all library employees will complete a survey.
Oh,
That's-
yes.
That's not this one.
No, we were given a separate survey by the company conducting
Okay.
the study.
So it's pretty obvious to me that you have all been very, very busy. The work that the whole staff has done to, as Mitch said, getting the grants, some of the work that you've been dealing, trying to doing the survey for the customers so that you can do some of the more long range planning is like the volume of work coming out of the library is very impressive to me. I guess that's really what I was trying to say.
Thank you. I'll pass that along. They do work really, really hard.
So, all right. Are there any other questions or comments? Are there any things that you want to point out or talk about on the report, Jen?
Nope. I was going to make sure that the grant was recognized, but we've done that. So I'm good.
All right.
Looks like a lot of the building issues have been resolved.
I really hope so.
Is there any area that wasn't impacted in some way, it seems like?
I hope not. We'll find out, right?
Oh
No,
my
I really
God.
think everything is I mean, put in one report, it looks a lot worse than it is, but I think we're on a good path right now.
Good.
I don't want to jinx myself.
All right. Then if nobody else has any other comments or questions about the director's report, we're going to move on to new business. One of which deals with, do we go to in-person meetings or do we continue with virtual board meetings? I emailed you on June 28th. I sent you the email that talked about the governor extending it until, I believe, April of 2022. And we have a choice to continue. Does anybody want to discuss this? I'd like to make it an official vote so that everyone knows this is what we're planning, this is what we're going to be doing going forward. So if people have questions, comments, concerns, I would like to hear them.
I have opinions.
You have opinions. No
But
way.
I defer to Richard, who I think got his hand up first.
I think I prefer the virtual. It's much more convenient. You know, you only have to travel from your dinner table to your computer and you're there. So I think I prefer this.
Anyone else? Mitch? I know Mitch has.
So thank you, Michelle. I miss everybody and I would love to see everyone in person. And I think there are some advantages to meeting in person. I don't know if everyone is ready for that yet, but at the same time, there are tremendous advantages to the remote meetings that the whole town has been holding, one of which solves one of the biggest problems that I think not only our board, but all the boards and most boards in town have had, which is a lack of ability for citizens to be able to see how meetings are held and see the discussions that are taking place. So until the town can expand the ability for recording and broadcast of meetings held in person to our board, I think, in my opinion, that takes priority and we should continue meeting remotely if even for that reason. But I would love to have a social get together where we don't talk about library business and we just catch up and say hi and eat cookies.
I agree with you, Mitch. I agree. 100%.
Thank you.
Want to get together and eat cookies or
Both.
all right.
We don't meet in August.
We do not meet in August. Yes.
So our next meeting would be September.
Ah, you're stealing my thunder, Jim.
And to me, the overriding issue, in my heart of hearts, I do believe that the in-person meetings are preferable to the Zoom. However, by mid to late August, we should have a better handle on the extent to which any of these variants might be still lurking around and causing trouble, or hopefully we might find that we in the Commonwealth, and particularly here in Northborough, with our high vaccination rates, are really in good shape and we can go back to normal meetings. So I think the virus is the determining factor behind whether we meet remotely or we meet in person.
I agree with one of Mitch's points and with Jim's. As much as I hate seeing myself on screen, I think that it is to the town's advantage to have meetings recorded and available for the public to see. And I too I'm a little concerned. I would like to see how we as a community and throughout the Commonwealth, how we come out of this summer vacation season and going into the fall and seeing if in fact, vaccination rates are sufficient, make sure that we don't have any bumps up in the rates of positive cases of COVID. So my preference would be to continue to meet remotely through April. But again, that is my opinion. Does anybody else want? Oh, sorry.
We could reverse that decision at any point during the year. I mean, if we made that decision today, and then in October and November, everything looked fine, and everyone else was going back to normal meetings, we could make that decision as a board. So I think that's a good idea, Michelle.
All right. So, is
So
there
it's-
any? Oh, sorry, Joan.
All right, I was just gonna say, it seems like there's also an option to do it on a month-to-month basis as well, right? Or would you prefer to just make a decision and then reevaluate at some point?
I think for the sake of I guess sort of transparency, I would like to be able to say this is the decision that we've made. It also gives us the opportunity to schedule our time slots from now through the April meeting,
Okay,
because we do have to allow for, sometimes there are other meetings that would have to take place. We have just so many Zoom licenses. So we have to be careful that we can continue to have our meetings. So if we put them all into the calendar now, it helps with the bigger picture, so that all boards, committees, and commissions, they have it all on one big calendar, I believe.
mhm,
So they know ahead of time. So I'd rather make a decision and say, well, this is the plan is to go from now through April. And as Jim said, we can do this at any point. We can revisit this and say, hey, you know what? We think we'll go back to in-person meetings. But for just to be clear, have a decision, have it in place, let people know that it was discussed. This is what the plan is. I'd rather have the vote now rather than waiting each month and deciding what do we do next month. So,
makes sense.
all right.
Would you like a motion to that effect, Michelle?
I would love a motion to that effect.
I will make a motion that the library trustees continue to meet via Zoom until further action is taken or until the law expires.
I second that.
Was that Nita?
Yes, I second it.
Okay, thank you. All righty. I will take the roll call vote. All in favor, Mitch Cohen,
Mitch Cohen, aye.
Jim Hogan,
Jim Hogan, aye.
Nita Karanjkar,
Nita Karanjkar, aye.
Charles Recchia,
Charlie Recchia, aye.
Joan Scott,
Joan Scott, aye.
Richard Tucker,
Richard Tucker, aye.
and Michelle Rehill, the chair, also says aye. Motion carries in the affirmative unanimously. All right.
Michelle?
And,
Just while we're on the topic, and since we have a member of the Board of Selectmen here, I want to take the opportunity to suggest that the Board of Selectmen continue to have discussions about enhancing the videotaping and coverage of meetings, whether in person or otherwise.
Yeah, understood. Thanks, Mitch.
Sure. Thank you, Scott. That's all.
okay. Thank you, Mitch. All right, and then the subcommittee, the next new item is the subcommittee assignments for FY22. I emailed those to you earlier today. I printed out a copy for myself, and I don't know what I did with it. Did everybody see that? I kept the committee assignments the same. Again, I just felt that it would be too difficult to try and change who's on which subcommittee. So we will continue with the committee assignments. I don't know if you noticed, Nita, you got a promotion. You are the chair of your subcommittee, so.
Yeah, I know. I was like, what? What's happening?
Hey, when you
And
come
it's
on
just
this committee,
It's just a 2 people committee, so.
I meant to send you an email and just double check with you and say, hey, you know what? This is going to happen. Because the chair of your subcommittee left the board
Yeah.
end of her term. And somebody needs to step up, so
You stepped me up.
I stepped you up. Serious, if anybody has a problem, contact me and we can discuss it and revisit, but otherwise, we will keep the committees, the same membership, the same format. And when we have a new trustee, the new trustee will be on that committee with you.
Thank you.
And the interviews, Scott, correct me if I'm wrong, I think you're on the interview committee with me. You're one of the selectmen interview committee,
Yeah, that is correct.
and that's tomorrow evening.
And we have some tomorrow evening. Yep.
Okay. All right, so by next meeting, we should have, I hope, someone new on board. Oh, well, yeah, we will, because our next meeting won't be until September. Okay, all right, so if you have the subcommittee, we're all set on the subcommittees and the assignments and the responsibilities. I think that we can move on to the date of the next meeting. The agenda, it had the wrong date on it. I feel as if I kind of own that. I don't know that we carefully explained to Jen that we don't have a meeting, an August meeting for the trustees. And also when they said when they scheduled all of our meetings, said, okay, we meet at the second Tuesday of the month. And Town Hall graciously scheduled all of our meetings for the rest of the calendar year, which included the August meeting that we will not be having. So the next meeting really is September 14th, 2021. Is there any other business that may come before the board at this time? Seeing none. I do want to thank Scott for joining us tonight. I appreciate you joining us and representing us to the Board of Selectmen. Appreciate your attention. And
I had to do it.
thank you. All right. If there is no other business, can I get a motion to adjourn? Don't make Mitch do it. Richard will do that. Thank you. And who will second?
I'll second.
Charles, thank you. All right, and I will do a roll call to adjourn the meeting. Mitch Cohen,
Mitch Cohen, aye.
Jim Hogan,
Jim Hogan, aye.
here, Anita Karanjkar,
Nita Karanjkar, aye.
Charlie Recchia,
Charlie Recchia, aye.
Joan Scott,
Joan Scott, aye.
Richard Tucker,
Richard Tucker, aye.
Michelle Rehill also votes aye.